Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first L4G TV business channel network marketing show. My name's Chris Ogle, and I'm going to be your host for today's show. With me, joining me after a little bit of a hiccup and trying to get this launched, we've finally done it. Come and say hello, Sarah.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Sarah Stubbins, and I'm really excited to be part of this show because I just think that the network marketing industry is something that needs to be recognized in a massive way, and people just need some education on what it really is and what it can do for people's lives.
Brilliant. I only stepped away there for a second because I realized I had the show playing in the background there, which was a bit disconcerting. So yeah, so you're the professional, Sarah. I'm just a hanger-on, as I said before. Really, I'm just quite passionate about the whole network marketing industry. I think it's something that we're going to hear a lot more and a lot more positive news about, but just so that people can sort of get a feel for you and kind of your background. You haven't always been in network marketing, but you're one of the rising stars, I hear.
Yes, coming out of the horizon. So I've been involved in the network marketing industry now for just over 6.5 years. But like you said, Chris, I didn't have a background in network marketing. In fact, I didn't even have a background in business at the time. I was a professional dancer when I first heard about the industry. And I've been very successful in my career. I've always been very hardworking and had worked extensively all over the world dancing and singing. And as much as I loved doing that, I did realize that there was quite a big flaw with that industry, which is that you have a shelf limit, really. You've got a shelf life. And also I realized that I was spending a lot of time away and financially wasn't necessarily where I wanted to be in my life. But I just saw that I couldn't actually do much about it in that career, because if I didn't work, I didn't earn. And there was only one of me and I could only work a certain amount of hours a day. And that was it. So when I was presented with a business opportunity in the network marketing industry, I sat and looked at what it could offer me and realized that it just ticked every box for me. Like it could give me all those things that the performing career couldn't necessarily give me. And so that was 6.5 years ago now. And I can honestly say that I'm so proud to be in the network marketing industry for what it's done for my life and how I've been able to help other people do the same thing. It's something that I've built part-time around all my full-time commitments. And that's one of the best things about the industry is that it can be built part-time. And that doesn't mean sometimes you still have to put effort and time and commitment into it, but it is a part-time home-based thing that can then create a full-time income over time as long as you work your business consistently. And that's where I'm at now, 6.5 years on. I have time freedom, I have choices, and I think that's exactly what the industry is about, is giving people choices again and giving time back, because it's the one thing that most people are lacking.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fascinating industry, and thanks for giving us that bit of history. Because, like I say, I am almost in the industry, but I'm not quite in the industry. I'm a bit busy doing a few other things, as you know.
Busy? You're never busy.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running this show every other week, and I'm just going to. So the next show will be the 22nd of February. And I just want to give people a little bit of a flavour of the kind of things that we're going to be covering. So today is really a bit of an introduction to network marketing, but then we're going to cover things in the following weeks, like who can get involved and actually do network marketing, what products are available to be bought and sold using this marketing technique. What's involved in getting started in actually, if you like, doing what you did 6.5 years ago. What are the challenges that and why do people actually not succeed? Because there is quite a fallout in the industry, and there are reasons for that, and we need to explore them, and also a little bit about the personal development side of network marketing, because I think that's probably one of the biggest things. Is actually it takes people into a space where they take responsibility for their lives, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually one of the things, well, it's probably the biggest thing that has been what I've loved about the industry. Don't get me wrong, the time, the income and everything else is great, but it's the person it's helped me become over those 6.5 years is what I value more than anything about the industry. And seeing other people grow and develop is the most rewarding thing. And that's what the industry offers to people.
Brilliant. Now, what we're going to be, this show, what it's basically, its purpose is to shed light on the industry, to give the industry if you like, a chance. There's a lot of, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but there's quite a bit of maligning going on about this industry. So I think when people talk to other people about internet marketing, it's very often because, network marketing, it's very often because they've got a vested interest in that discussion, i.e. they're in network marketing already, and perhaps they're talking to someone about it because they'd like them to join their team. This show is uniquely positioned in that you can't join our team because there is no team, but what we are doing is providing people with an opportunity to evaluate this without any pressure and from a completely unbiased perspective, and I think that's quite important.
Yeah, just to educate people, I think, is the biggest thing, because I truly believe that a lot of people may be missing an opportunity that could be really big for them, but just because they've got a misconceived idea of what they think the industry is. And of course, the industry isn't for everyone. It's like anything, you know, Chinese food, Indian food isn't for everybody, but it's worth taking a look at so you can see whether it is for you or not. And I mean, a good example is the fact that about $200 million in commissions are paid out every single day to consultants in the network marketing industry. So, you know, there's people that are missing out on being a part of something like that just because they've got an idea of what they think it is, not what it really is. Okay,
well, that's an interesting place to start. So what is network marketing? Because I know there's a lot of confusion out there, and we're going to talk about a very infamous name for something that's what was a forerunner, if you like, to the market, the network marketing growing up. But what is it then? Because there's lots of things that can be offered, so it can be viewed in many different ways. But what is network marketing? What is it actually?
If you put it into simplistic terms, all it is word of mouth advertising. That is what the industry is. It's a distribution model helping people get products or services through word of mouth. So what that essentially means is that product could be offered at a lower price point because there's not all the middlemen in the way. So normally if you buy something in a traditional retail model, a product has been manufactured, it goes to a wholesaler, a warehouse, an advertiser, sales force, and then as consumers we walk into that shop and buy the product, and that means all those middlemen need to make money, so they put profit margins onto the product, and 80 to 85% of our spend is going on markup and middlemen. And in the network marketing distribution model, it cuts it all out. So all that happens is a product gets manufactured, it gets spoken about by someone who is a representative for the company, and then that means the end consumer can get the products just purely through that word of mouth referral system. So it means a better quality product at a lower price point, but it also means individuals can prosper rather than just huge corporations, because it gives people the ability to build their own business and be that word of mouth advert and get paid.
Okay, so we seem to have lost Sarah there for a second. So let me just recap there on what Sarah was saying. She's basically saying that in network marketing, instead of the normal distribution channel, so I'm being told I've been frozen. So let me just. So in a normal distribution channel, you have all the different people in the. Are you there?
I'm back. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
My house.
I was just saying that in a normal distribution channel, you've got a whole raft of like wholesalers and middlemen. Plus, you've got all the advertising and the marketing, and you've got the TV, the news, all this other stuff that's going on. And of course, that's all the while adding to the costs of the final product.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about 80 to 85% of what we're spending goes on markup. And that's the wonderful thing about the network marketing industry, is that whole middle process that you would normally find in a traditional retail model is wiped out. So in a network marketing model, the product gets manufactured, it just gets spoken about by a representative who is like the word of mouth advert essentially, and ends up directly with the consumer, which means the whole middle process is gone and more money goes back into research, development, ingredients, quality products. But also it means that word of mouth referral system, the consultant for that company, can be rewarded. And it's something we all do every day anyway. If you think about the amount of things we all recommend, I mean, I'm the queen of recommendations, especially for books. I've recommended so many books and health websites to people. It's unbelievable. So if you think of how many times you actually do that on a daily basis, and what I love about that is the fact that it's honest, because I recommend things I love to my friends. I recommend things that I believe and I would personally use. And when you see advertising nowadays, you realize that adverts don't necessarily relate to real life. You see, an advert for a shampoo or for a mascara, and it's like fake eyelashes and fake hair. So what I love about the network marketing industry is it's got that truthful element as well, because people will only recommend things that they believe in themselves and that they probably use themselves. So,
yeah, I mean, one of the things that always comes back to me is, if it's such a good deal for the people who are making the products, and it's a good deal for the people who are out there referring those products, why aren't all of these manufacturers doing it?
Good question. Do you know what? A lot of companies are starting to adopt it into their businesses, though. A lot of companies now are having like an element of network marketing in some way, shape, or form. So if you look at, say, for example, going to the hairdressers, if you refer a friend, you'll get like a free haircut or something, or 10% off your next shop. So that's exactly what network marketing is in a normal retail kind of system, if that makes sense. So right. Companies are massively starting to implement it in, because they can see the benefits. They can see how it could work, because the most powerful form of advertising is word of mouth. So people are now starting to use it a lot more.
So let me bring this word that strikes fear into every network marketer, which is pyramid selling. Now, whenever you mention network marketing, the people that have either tried and died, or the people who have just not open-minded or whatever, will all say, "Oh, isn't that pyramid selling thing?"
Yeah. And again, it's a misconception from years gone by that's kind of stuck with people.
Let's make it quite clear: pyramid selling is illegal. And you can't do it. And anybody that's offering a direct sales business, which is what network marketing is basically they've had to have their commission or marketing plan, or whatever it is, fully validated, and product has to go from manufacturer to end consumer. And yes, commissions are made in between, and we can talk about marketing plans in a second. But basically, pyramid selling was where actually nobody bought anything really. They just like passed money up the line, and it was like last one in lost a load of money, and
exactly. And the one at the top got it all.
yeah. So my understanding in the network marketing industry now, and I don't know what it's like in your particular organization, but it's possible for people who are coming in at any point in time to do better than their sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that I will introduce people to my organization who will earn way more than me. And I love that, because it means it's effort-based. And I often say to people, look at a normal corporate structure. If you look at a normal corporate structure, there's a CEO at the top of the company, and then there's everyone else working in that structure. And no matter how hard we work as employees, we may get a raise or a promotion, but it's rigid. All the money flows to the top of the company, and there's the CEO at the top who earns most of the money. And we will never be the CEO. So if you look at the shape of it, that's a normal corporation. With network marketing, it's like a square, because everybody starts at the bottom at the same place and has the same opportunity. And every single person can be at the top, and it doesn't matter who introduces them, when they start, what their age, their gender, their background is. It's based on effort. if they want more from it, they just put more into it, and then they can bypass the person who introduced them and earn way more money than them.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a big fan of, the people who are doing most of the work should get most of the reward. That's the way that's the way it should be. And I think, with network marketing, it is a fairer system, provided you get to work with the company. And this is something that I think is really important. When I talk to people, and I think these people are not doing it in the right way, it's like, oh, shall I talk about the product or shall I talk about the business? Actually, the bottom line is the buck stops with the product.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you don't like the product, then find another one.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be a product that you want to use and that you believe in. Like, I could never recommend something that I wasn't using myself. So I consider myself a walking advert for my business, because everything that I use is a product of the company. And that's the thing. It's like, if you're not willing to use the product, how could you recommend it to someone else and say, look, you should use this, because you're not willing to use it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it always makes me laugh, actually, when you like if you went to a car showroom and it was a Mercedes and the guys were all driving around in Volvos, what would that?
Yeah, exactly. What would you be thinking? You'd be like, well, they obviously don't believe in the cars. It's exactly the same thing. Exactly.
So the industry has been going for decades, hasn't it now? Network marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, the first ones were things like Amway. I think Herbalife's been going for ages now, and
it's been going quite a long time.
Others. But it is an industry that's been maligned. I mean, I've been networking for a long time, and when you get, and of course, networking per se attracts quite a lot of network marketers, because it's almost like the low-hanging fruit. You want to meet people, and there's people, so I'm going to go first. The trouble is, they all go.
Yeah.
And actually, when people start up in the industry, they are incredibly enthusiastic. I remember seeing some people, a few years back, and it's like, but Chris, this is the most amazing thing ever. You have to join this. It's like, I can't understand how you could be turning me down.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like any industry. There's good and there's bad and there's ugly. It's about education, and even as a network marketer, it's about learning skills. And in the beginning, there were things that I look back at now and I'm like, oh, did I really say that? Did I do that? Because you're just learning. It's like anything new. So it's just kind of, I think the more people can be educated in the industry when they're a part of the industry and get that support that they need and learn and grow, the better. Because the industry is amazing, and that's the thing is, you may have had a bad experience with the industry or someone in the industry just because they were learning something new and they were learning how to grow. So it's kind of giving them a bit of slack sometimes.
So obviously, over the last 6.5 years, you've spoken to a lot of people about what you do. Have you changed your approach from the early days?
Definitely. The more I've learned, the more I've changed my approach. Absolutely. In the beginning, I was very shy and very unconfident, I have to say, and people always think that's weird because I was a dancer, but it's a different ball game. Standing on stage kicking my legs is very different to talking about business. And I still do the same things, the same actions as I did in the beginning, but in a different way. And I think it's just because I've learned a lot about people and about myself and about my confidence and all those things that have helped me now move forwards. And now what I really think about is I'm actually quite picky when I speak to people about the business, because I understand that the business isn't for everyone, and I actually don't want to work with everyone. I'm looking for people who are open-minded and positive and driven and have a good work ethic and certain core values that fit with my core values. So it's not just about me sharing it, with everybody. And of course, it is something that everybody can do. I understand that. But for me, it really is about, there's certain core values that I think make great network marketers. And that's what I look for. It's not about the skills that they have, because I know they're all learnable. It's more about the core values and the ethics that they have. So I'm very much more now about building relationships with people first, finding out about them and their needs and their wants, and then thinking, actually, could what I've got to offer be a good fit for them? And if so, brilliant, I'll tell them about the product or the business. If not, then there's no need.
Yeah, I do a workshop on how to network effectively, and what you just said there was I spend time getting to know people.
Yeah,
What I call that in the training that I put together is discovery,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
and you need to stay in discovery for as long as it takes.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
you're not putting any pressure on them. You're just getting to know the person, because it's after that you might turn around and say, you know what, I'm not sure I want to really work with that person.
yeah, absolutely. And it's all about trust. You know, people do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
So there has to be that trusted element in there, and you have to find out about each other to see, like you said, whether you can work together or not. There's actually an amazing book called it's got the worst title ever, How to Sell Network Marketing Without Fear, Anxiety, or Losing Your Friends.
What's the title?
I know, but it talks so much about relationships more than anything. It's all about that relationship element to begin with before you do anything. And that's the thing, because how can you offer something when you don't know if there's a need for it with the products or the business?
Absolutely, and I think that in the early days of anybody's journey in network marketing, they are so excited about what they've got in their hands that they just want to go out and tell everybody and anybody, and it does come.
Yeah, they kind of vomit it on people.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember talking to Holly, who I know you know very, very well, when she started her journey, which must have been 4 years, 5 years ago now, and every single sentence was turned into an Arbonne story. And I know she's nothing like, I met her again like last year, and I know that those days are long in the dim and distant past, but it's interesting that people do change as they become more, well, I suppose, success. And this is an interesting point. I think one of the problems with network marketing is that the way people are encouraged to participate is by watching some really amazing people who are success stories, like yourself, for example. And a lot of people think, oh, well, some people, sometimes they might think, actually, yes, I can be like that person and I want to have the success that they've had, but fail to recognize the amount of effort it took to do that.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key. It's like, you can actually be like that person 100%. You can achieve what they've achieved, but it takes work and effort and time. And I think people just expect it to happen too quickly, or with not enough effort, or without changing. People want things to change without having to change. And it's like, you can't. You know, I've grown so much as a person over those 6.5 years to become the person I am now and to be where I'm at now. And that's not easy. Change is not easy. And, you know, I think the industry does highlight a lot of things in yourself as well, a lot of things that you need to overcome, and fears and things that have gone on, you know, that might be deep rooted. And for some people, that is just too hard to face. So they try and skirt around that part, thinking they can still get there. It's like, no, you have to deal with that part. But the great thing is, when people are willing to deal with that part, what it does for their life is immense, because it's not just what it does for their business, but their entire life, because it helps them overcome all these things that may have been holding them back in everything, not just business.
Yeah, I mean, we'll come on to that in a future show in more detail, but absolutely, when I look at the industry, I think all those self-development, self-help books, I think the biggest customer base for those is network marketing events.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, so there's one side of it is they want to be that person, so they like the way that person is, or the charisma that person has got, maybe. But like you said, you don't get there without fighting the demons and getting through them. Another thing is, of course, is the money, and you know, this is probably, apart from what you've said in terms of self-development, people not facing their fears, I suspect also it's absolutely like the money is not happening in the way it was promised, and I use the word promised loosely, but the takeaway from some of these big conferences or whatever they are is what you can make a load of money, you can get, and of course you can, but looking at what you said already, it's not the primary driver for you, the money.
No, I have to say, when I started, it was because I needed it. I was time poor and financially poor, because being a dancer is not the best paid industry in the world, I have to say. So I did have a driving force when I started, because I needed the income. I was living in London and I was paying expensive rent, and my jobs were few and far between. So I did have that driving force when I started, but over time that driving force changes massively, because money, what is money at the end of the day? Money is just like, I was going to say it's paper, but it's not even paper now. It's numbers on a screen. So it's like, it can't be the ultimate driving force. There's always something deeper than that, because it's like, well, why do you actually want money? Why is it important? What is money representing? And it's more to do with lifestyle and the things that money allows you to do. That's the difference. So I think when people really find what their driving force is, that makes a big difference to their success as well, because they've got that emotional attachment to why they're doing it. And I say that to people so much. You have to be emotionally attached to why you're doing the business, not to your business and the results, but you have to be emotionally attached to why you're doing it, because it's the thing that makes you get out and do it. It's the thing that makes you overcome any fears or insecurities that you may have. And I've still got fears, of course I have. I wouldn't be normal if things didn't scare me, but it's not like when I was starting 6.5 years ago that they would paralyze me. It's a fear that I kind of go, right, if I'm fearful, that means I need to do it, and I just develop the courage to do it. And that's the difference, is that journey of going over those hurdles and breaking through those boundaries and realizing that everyone still has those moments and those fears and those emotions, but it's how you deal with them.
What's been the effect on like friends, relationships, and fun and happiness in your life? Because I meet a lot of people, and there are a lot of people out there that are just not having a fun life.
Yeah, I know. I see a lot of that, and I'm like, I have fun. I get to hang out with my best friends like all the time and be inspired and have fun with them. Go to amazing conferences and trips abroad and things that I just wouldn't have been able to do before. And some people who aren't in my business, but we're what you call sidelines. So we don't benefit from each other, but we all build the same business within the same network marketing company. They were my friends before I started the business. And I get to see them all the time now, whereas before it would have been, once in a blue moon that I'd get to hang out with them. But we're all on the same journey and we're all developing in the same way. It's just such a great thing to be a part of and to share with other people that you care about more than anything. And I think because it attracts a certain type of person and very like-minded people, you find that my guest list for my wedding is ridiculous, because it's like, I've got so many amazing friends now. I want them all there because I've met them all through building my business, because you're just around like-minded people all the time. So yeah, a lot of people join network marketing for that element. It's for the community, for the social side, for the inspiration and the fun and the friends that they get to have, more so than the money. And I think that's the thing about the industry. It appeals to different people in different ways. There are so many different elements to it that can be appealing. It's just finding what might be the right part for you. What is it that appeals to you?
We'll be covering this in another week, but there are loads and loads of network marketing companies out there now. So there are a whole raft of different products and services that.
And it's growing day by day. The amount of new network marketing companies starting all the time is unbelievable.
What would you say? I'm assuming you didn't go through a whole load of companies before you started. I suspect a friend introduced it and you thought, well, if they're good, it'd be good to hang out with them and do a bit of stuff with them. But if somebody's like thinking of getting into a network marketing organization or joining a company, what would you suggest they check out about that organization?
I would recommend that they check out whether they're part of the Direct Selling Association to begin with. That's really important, because it's like the governing body in the UK for direct selling and network marketing. So any reputable companies should be part of the Direct Selling Association. I personally believe that being a part of a company that's older than about 7 years is really recommended too, because it's got stability. If you join a brand new company, it's just trying to get going, and of course it's it's exciting because it's new and there's a lot of potential. But in the same respect, it hasn't got the kind of the grounding that you might want in a company, and there's no telling what might happen to that company in a few months. But you still want a company that's got a lot of room for growth as well. So a lot of network marketing companies, like you mentioned earlier, Chris, have been around for a very, very, very long time and have already done their whole globalization. So they're in, you know, every single country under the sun, which, you know, there's never, with most companies, there will never be saturation, but still knowing that there's more potential to open new markets is a good thing to look for too. And then I really believe it's about the support you're going to get in the company. I think the training and the mentoring is a huge part of it. So making sure that the company that you join is going to give you the support that you need to be successful, because I think a lot of people don't necessarily get as much support as they need to be successful. And although it is your own business at the end of the day, when you join a network marketing company, it's a bit like, I view myself when I have a new person join my business as their stabilizers on a bike. You know, I'm there to do everything with them to begin with, and over time, slowly take the stabilizers off so they can start riding on their own to be independent. But to begin with, it's literally like, I've got your back, I'm holding you up, I'm there with you. And I think that support is really important, as long as you're willing to bring the effort to the table.
That's an important point, though. Do it with them, not for them.
Yeah, definitely. You can't drag people along. I tried. It's hard work. And that's why, again, it's not about convincing people about the industry or the business. I'm not going to convince someone to join my business, because that means they don't want it for themselves. They're not willing to actually put the work in. And that means I'm doing double the work, because I'm building my own business and theirs at the same time, which is not easy.
So just to sort of final subject really for today, the marketing plan. You know, you hear a lot about the compensation plans, the reward schemes, the whatever. There's all sorts of names for them. Is there anything to look out for on those, or would you say that, to be honest, if they're in the DSA and they've been going for a while, you know, they're all pretty good at reward?
I mean, they are all pretty good, but they will all differ massively. So there are different compensation plans for each company. So some have what is called a binary system, where you only have two kind of legs to your business. And that means you have, say, for example, you introduce people to the business, you can only have two that you directly introduce, and then you put other people you introduce below those. And with a system like that, you will never earn as much income as you could potentially with a company that doesn't have a binary system, I believe. So for me personally, when I've researched, because I have done a lot of research into the industry and different compensation plans, for me, having a company that wasn't capped on how wide my business could be was the key. So you know, if you have a company where it's not capped on how many people you can personally help, then that means the income will always be bigger, because you've not just got two legs, you've got as many as you want. And then my main aim is to have, you know, solid people in my business, and then help them have solid people in their business, and so on, so it just continues to grow and duplicate.
Fabulous. That's about it really for this week. I think we've had an interesting introduction here, and yeah, so basically, if network marketing is something you are looking at, and you would like to
valid research, yeah,
and you know, come and join us on these shows as we sort of go through each part of it, and we will be bringing in people each week, guests, to come in and share some stories about what they've done in relation to the topic of the week. I've already got a few people that have potentially said they're interested, so we just need to wind them in. But yeah, so next time it's going to be who actually can do this network marketing. And as you said, it can be anybody, but we'll look in a bit more detail about what is the raw credentials for getting involved, and what you can pick up and how you can improve. I mean, you know, within Link for Growth, which is obviously what I'm doing, there's a huge amount of similarities in terms of different objectives, but in terms of working with people and helping people and seeing people go from being quite miserable to being quite happy people.
Happy. More than happy, elated.
Yeah, and that's a really nice thing, and yeah, we need more of that.
Definitely, there is definitely more room for it.
Fabulous. All right, well, I will see you again on the 22nd, if not before. Same time, Monday, 4 till 5. We don't know how long these shows are going to be, because we're not that structured, but
we might get weeks go on.
Sorry?
We might get more structure as the week goes on. You never know.
Yeah, and also we'll have a few guests on as well, which yeah, that'll be interesting dynamic as well. So looking forward to seeing a few people from a few different industries, and of course we'll, as we get to the back end of the introductory stages, which is the first 5 or 6 weeks, we can then start to introduce some of the different organisations that are basically doing network marketing programs, so that people can maybe hear from a few people in a very unsalesy way about the different types of organisations, products and services that are offered in this way.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
Fabulous. All right, we'll have a good rest of the week, and then Sarah, and cheerio, those who have watched this, or if you're going to watch it on catch up, hope you enjoyed it. So thanks very much for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye.